Good morning, students. This is our chapter Evolution and part 4. Theories of We'll study today theories of evolution. Four theories have been put forward to explain the mode of evolution, that is origin of species. First one is Lamarckism. Second is Darwin's theory of natural selection, and third is Hugo de Vries mutation theory. And fourth one is modern concept of evolution. So Lamarckism is the first theory of evolution which was proposed by Jean de Lamarck, a French biologist. Lamarck's propositions were that animals are having internal vital force. All the living things and their component parts are continuously increased due to internal vital force. And effect of environment and new needs. Environment influences all types of organism. A change in environment brings about changes in organisms. It gives rise to new needs. New needs or desires provide new structures and change habits of organism. Likewise, use and disuse of organs. If an organ is constantly used, it would be better developed, whereas disuse of organ results in the degeneration. And he also told about inheritance of acquired characters. Whatever an individual acquires in its lifetime due to internal vital force, effect of environment, new needs or use of disuse of organs, they are inherited to the next generation. So he gave the example in the support of Lamarckism, just like the evolution of giraffe, that the ancestors of giraffe were bearing a small neck and forelimbs and were like horses. But as they living in places with no surface vegetation, they had to stretch their neck and forelimbs to take the leaves for food, which resulted in the slight elongation of these parts. Whatever they acquired in one generation was transmitted to next generation, with the result that a race of long-necked and long forelimbed animals were developed. So Lamarckism was criticized. He was later scientists told that boring of pinna and nose of Indian women is never inherited to next generation. Uh, uh, and likewise, a wrestler's powerful muscles are not transmitted to the offspring. So likewise, Chinese women used to wear iron shoes in order to have small feet, but their children at the time of birth have always normal feet. So all these character evidences were in the that acquired characters which we acquire in our lifetime is not transmitted to the next generation. So this theory was discarded. Next theory is Darwin's theory of natural selection. Darwin's theory of natural selection, as we have studied about Darwin's finches, so he said that over production, limited food and space, and struggle and existence, variations, natural selection, all these features led to the Darwin's theory of natural selection. And he told about Darwin finches on Galapagos Island that according to food habits, all the finches, they evolved themselves according to the need of food they required, just like woodpecker finches, cactus feeding finches, insectivorous finches, or leaves eating finches. So likewise. And next one is our Hugo de Vries mutation theory. Hugo de Vries was a Dutch botanist, and he gave some salient features. He said that he gave emphasis on the mutations. Mutations or discontinuous variations are the raw material of evolution. Mutations appear all of a sudden and they become operational immediately. Next, the same type of mutations can appear in number of individuals of a species. All mutations are inheritable. Mutations appear in all conceivable directions. So evolution is a jerky and discontinuous process. Useful mutations are selected by nature. Lethal mutations are eliminated. However, use and less harmful ones can persist in the progeny. So these were all the theories, and significance of Hugo de Vries mutation theory was this theory gives direct attention to the mutations, but later on it was thought that evolution cannot occur by mutations alone. Natural selection and isolation of mutants were also essential for evolution. So these are all about this. Next we'll do modern concept of evolution in next slide. This slide shows about Hugo de Vries mutation theory. According to Hugo de Vries, he was a Dutch botanist and one of the independent rediscoverers of Mendelism. what are the main silent features of Hugo de Vares? He said that he worked on evening primos and found several aberrant types, and then salient features of mutation theory were on the basis of his observation. He said that mutations or discontinuation variations are the raw material of evolution. Second one was mutations appear all of a sudden, they become operational immediately. Then the third one was the same type of mutation can appear in a number of individuals of a species. All mutations are inheritable. Mutations appear in all conceivable directions, and accumulation of variations produce new species. Sometimes a new species is produced from a single mutation, and evolution is a jerky and discontinuous process. So these were all the postulates given by Hugo de Vares. What are the differences between Hugo de Vares and Darwin variation? So Hugo de Vares said that mutations appear all of a sudden, whereas Darwin said that variations were gradual. And Hugo de Vares was saying the mutations are the raw material of evolution, whereas Darwin says continuous variations are the basis of evolution. Hugo de Vares says mutations are due to change in genetic makeup, and Darwin says genes were not known to even Darwin. This slide shows mechanism of evolution. It was given by Hardy and Weinberg, and he says that mutations introduce new genes into species, resulting in a change in gene frequencies. So, essential conditions of Hardy-Weinberg principle were explain the stability of population and species over a number of generations, and is applicable only under the following conditions. Five conditions means no mutation, no gene flow, no genetic drift, no genetic recombination, and no natural selection will be there. And then the according to Hardy-Weinberg principle, gene frequencies will remain constant if all above five conditions are met. Now, individual frequency, for example, may be named P and Q. In a diploid, P and Q represent the frequency of allele A and allele B. The frequency of A and B individual in a population is PQ. This can be stated in another way, that is probability that an allele with a frequency of P appears on both the chromosomes of a diploid organism is the product of probabilities, that is P square. So this is a binomial expression of P plus Q square. It will be always equal to 1. It is possible to calculate all allele and genotype frequencies using the expression allele frequency P plus Q is equal to 1, and genotypic frequency P square plus 2PQ is plus Q square is equal to 1. So constant gene frequencies over several generations indicate that evolution is not taking place. Changing gene frequencies would indicate that evolution is in progress. So in other words, evolution occurs when the genetic equilibrium is upset. Evolution is a departure from Hardy-Weinberg principle. So this is in continuation with the previous slide. Thus it is possible to calculate all allele and genotype frequencies using the expression allele frequency P plus Q is equal to 1, and genotypic frequency P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1. So five factors which are affecting Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium I have told you earlier: gene flow, genetic drift, mutation, genetic recombination, and natural selection.